morning. Today on Business Success in 6 with Stacie, I have Peg Karpfinger here. She's a co-owner of Centro Cafe and Bar Centro with her husband, Pat Moore. Thanks for jumping on with me today, Peg.
Thank you, Stacie.
It's my pleasure. So if you don't mind how this is going to work, I'm going to ask you 6 questions about your multiple businesses, and you can answer however you want. And so our clients and community can learn more about what you're doing.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you. When people ask you what Centro Cafe and Bar Centro are and what you do, how do you describe it?
Well, we're a Italian restaurant, and we have a neighboring jazz club, and we own the property that we're in, and several properties right on the street and throughout River West.
Awesome. So we were actually talking before. It sounds like you've been almost renovating some of River West as it's been developing over the past 20 years. What were your plans when you started your business, and how have they changed?
I met Pat, my husband, who I'm in business with, back in 2000, and we started working together right away, rehabbing properties that he owned. And then his brother had a restaurant in Chicago, Pasta Palazzo in Lincoln Park, and Pat's a transplant here. He was a speed skater, so he ended up in Milwaukee. And he always wanted to open a restaurant, similar to his brother's. Thought it'd be great in Milwaukee. And my brother Chuck is a realtor, and he was always just sort of looking for something that might work for that. And he found us the property on Center Street. We were in River West, living in River West, had properties, and then we found this perfect spot for our restaurant and started rehabbing it. And am I answering your question?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Tell us what happened next. So after you opened up the restaurant, actually, is your husband Italian? I was just curious because there's
No, neither of us are Italian.
okay, just love
Yeah.
Italian food. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great food. Pasta's just everyone loves it. And so,
Absolutely. And then you opened up the bar, which happens to be a jazz bar. So tell me
mhm.
more about that.
Yeah, we were developing the space to be sort of a waiting room for Centro. And then a friend of Pat's saw it, who is a musician, and he said, "You really should think about having music here." So then that's how that idea sort of formed, and it ends up being a really wonderful space for music. That every artist that sings or plays there is just so happy with the acoustics.
Okay.
So it's just a really nice small space. Um, Jazz music is not loud. It's
Mhm.
You can still have a conversation.
Mhm.
Um, it's just a nice spot. Um, I mean, we enjoy it when we're there because there's so many musicians, so many wonderful local musicians that we can support,
Yes.
um, and that brings this additional aspect to our business. I think what you want when you have a restaurant is just to really try and delight people.
Mhm.
Um, you have that chance to make them hap- make them happy on so many levels. Like it's a beautiful space that we've designed and rehab, both the restaurant and the bar. And then we have great staff that are happy in their jobs,
That's
and they
wonderful.
enjoy waiting on people. And the food, wine, cocktails are all really great. And then they can stop next door and hear some music or just have a cocktail. But
Yeah, what's really neat about your business is that you have this restaurant, and if the restaurant's full, they can enjoy a beverage at the bar and then move into there. Or if they're in the restaurant and they're just not ready to go home because you've provided such a wonderful experience, they can go over and listen to music again. So it's a really neat combination there.
Right, it is. We really needed it before COVID when we didn't take reservations
Okay.
because we'd have a long waiting list and people would go to all the other bars in River West, which
Oh,
was kind of nice. It got people familiar with River West in a way. But then it coincided that we opened after COVID when we started taking reservations. So
okay.
um, you can't come to the restaurant without a reservation. So, um, and then if table's not ready right away, you could sit next door and
That's
have a
perfect.
cocktail. Hmm.
And you don't have to worry about walking in 5 to 8 inches of snow like we might tomorrow, right?
Right, right. Mhm.
So, what is the biggest way you impact the community? I know you started talking about, redeveloping the community. Could you share a little bit more about what you're doing there?
Yeah, we've purchased buildings, rehabbed them, found great tenants, and kept our kept our rents at a reasonable rate so
Nice.
that people, it's nice for us because people stay longer, but also we're not pricing people out of the neighborhood. We
That's
love that River West is diverse in a lot of different ways and economically as well. So um, it feels good to us to purchase these properties, keep the ownership local,
Mhm.
um, and then provide spaces for people to live and work. We have both residential and commercial spaces for
Okay.
rent. So
So tell me just a little bit more. So for those that haven't actually had the opportunity to have rental properties, now if you keep the rent at an affordable price, you're going to keep people there longer. Like how it seems like that works with your business model, but it how do you make sure that you're getting the right tenants?
um, well, we have an application that people fill out,
Mhm.
and we call employers and former landlords, and
Okay. That's
yeah,
that's wonderful that you're allowing people to be able to afford to live in such a diverse and beautiful community without jacking their rent up more and more every year, so they're being forced to push out. So that's
yeah.
beautiful. Well,
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
at the restaurant too, the majority of our employees live right in the neighborhood, so they
Okay,
can walk to work and
that's
um, yeah.
so what is one challenge that you have faced over the years that other business owners could learn from?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I think if you're a business owner, you know there's endless challenges. You know, every day there's a different challenge, really. So I think maybe in business and in life in general, it's just to realize there's never not going to be a challenge, you know?
Right.
So I think it's just to understand, that success in business is um, a long haul and it's about patience and perseverance.
Mhm.
I think some people just starting out maybe don't realize that, it's an
Sure.
investment. There have been so many challenges that I
Sure.
can't think of one that was worse than any other, you know. The employment issue lately is tough. Um, it seems different than some of the other challenges that we've had, but
Now,
uh,
do you feel like with the employment issue, like it's starting to balance out a little bit more? I know people in the restaurant and bar industry, right? When COVID hit, just everybody just seemed to go away. Are you finding it starting to be a little more consistent now?
yeah, well, we retained quite a few of our employees, so
Awesome.
we feel really good about that. We got a PPP loan, and we used it to, you know, um, stay open when it maybe wasn't as profitable as you'd like,
Mhm.
um, and kept people working. even when we weren't open. So, yeah. And I think just like we try not to raise our rents too much, we did raise our wages.
Wow.
And I think that's a really good thing that came out of all of this, is that the restaurant business, for too many years, I think, um, the employees weren't making what they should. And
Absolutely.
I feel good about where it is now.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's something else that's huge that you've done for the community as well. So thank you for that. So what does the future look like for you? And do you have an exit plan?
Yeah, well, we're starting to think about that.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'd love if our employees could, really buy us out, or someone local, but we're just starting to kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and they say, it takes on an average of about 5 years to really figure that out. So that's good that you're thinking about it now if it's something that you eventually want to do. So.
yeah.
So all subjects open. What inspires you most besides your amazing renovations? I know we talked about a little bit earlier, the space that you have behind is absolutely beautiful and you renovated that. So that's inspiring to me, but what inspires you most?
Yeah, lately it's really been the music aspect of our business. That I think that there are so many musicians in Milwaukee that we were all hit by COVID, but they were hit pretty hard, and it's amazing to me that they play, night after night, and there's just really not a lot in it for them financially. Um, so it's just for what they give to everyone with their beautiful voices and talent.
Mhm.
I just feel good about trying to uh, promote them, and make Bar Central a really great atmosphere for them to play in. We offer them a meal, and they're these young people that are just really pouring out their hearts. So my husband and I are just enjoying meeting these people, and hoping to really like have some part in helping them with their careers.
Growth and absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time today, Peg. If somebody wants to go to Bar Centro Cafe, or get in touch with you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, our website is centralcaferiverwest.com.
Okay.
So you can make reservations there, buy gift certificates, see our calendar of shows, um,
Awesome.
read our story, and see photos of our spaces. And
Wonderful. Thank you. And do you have social media as well if people want to follow you?
yeah, I am not that much into Facebook and Instagram, but we do have both of them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much and good luck with 2023. Thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.